This is day 2 of the Rally de Portugal. We're in the Algarve region, where Europe meets the Atlantic Ocean. On dry land, it was Ford's Marcus Gronholm who took the early initiative on day 1, getting the better of these rough, undulating stages to take a narrow lead. His Ford teammate Mikko Hirvonen was his closest challenger. While Subaru's Petter Solberg also threatened to get in on the act. But just a few seconds behind was the red Citroën C4 of Sébastien Loeb, an ominous sign for all. He moved into second on the last stage of the morning loop, just 2.6 seconds behind Gronholm. The repeat afternoon stages where Loeb is often quicker were going to be key. On the first of those, stage 5, Gronholm increased his lead to 6 seconds. But on the final 2 stages of the day, Loeb made his move. On stage 6, he closed to just 1.5 seconds behind Gronholm, and on stage 7, he turned that into a 3-second advantage. It all looked to be about tyre preservation, whereas Loeb seemed to have some grip left. When Gronholm got to the end of the final stage, his tyres were nearly bald. Mikko Hirvonen also suffered in those final stages, losing around 20 seconds. While Petter Solberg was undone by this spin on stage 6.
Keep in the track, 14. No. Open down long, keep it block. Keep in the track, 14.
Citroën's Danny Sordo ended the day 5th, while behind him, a host of drivers were fighting it out for the minor positions. The OMV Citroën Zaras of Manfred Stoll and Daniel Carlson were on top in this dispute in the early stages. But it was Stobart VK Ford's Jani-Matti Latvala who fought back from a hydraulic problem on stage 2 to end the day in 6th. Latvala ended the day 18.8 seconds in front of Stoll, while Chris Atkinson got ahead of Carlson to complete the top 8. And confirmation there that Loeb will take a lead of 3.1 seconds over Marcus Gronholm into this second day. Mikko Hirvonen in third is just 7.5 seconds in front of Petter Solberg. Britain's Guy Wilkes is one driver who won't be going any further. His Ford Focus went off the road on stage 3. But the most spectacular off of the day was that of Martin Prokop in the FIA Junior Championship. This huge roll on stage 4 left his car wrecked. He just received a few minor injuries. Rally de Portugal is based in the city of Faro on the southern tip of Portugal. 6 stages in the hillsides to the north of here make up day 2. That's 153 competitive kilometres. And the crews are met by grey skies in the morning service in the Algarve Stadium complex. It's been raining overnight, so there are damp roads ahead. Sébastien Loeb and the Citroën team will be thinking hard about his tyre options. This could be crucial today. So, as day 2's about to get underway, there are several positions up for grabs, and it's still very grey in the hills near Faro. Petter Solberg is hoping to make a push for the final podium place this morning. Very tricky, slippery conditions then, and the rain is still falling in places. Petter begins the day just 7.5 seconds behind Mikko Hirvonen. Oh, but he slid off here. He should get straight back on the road with few dramas, but it's certainly not an easy ride for Subaru's number 1 this morning. Hirvonen is next into the stage. The These difficult conditions won't worry Mikko. The Ford driver likes a challenge, and his medium soft tyre choice compared to Solberg's hard tyres should be an advantage if the roads don't dry out this morning. The fight for third is on, and the fight for the lead is about to get underway. Leader Marcus Gronholm lost his advantage on the very last stage yesterday, and he'll be eager to find a response immediately before Loeb can pull away. He opted for a harder tyre than the Frenchman, so like Solberg, he'll be hoping for warmer weather this morning. Citroën seemed confident with their tyre choice for Loeb, so it's a calm Frenchman who starts stage 8. Well, his lines and driving style are normally very clean, but he seems to be struggling for grip a little here. Back with Solberg now. He's really fighting the car on these wet roads. The hard tyres were really not a great choice for these conditions.
Left minus, tightens.
Rejoining Gronholm, and we're about to get an idea how he's getting on so far. He's approaching the 14.5 kilometre split time. And that's a pretty good effort from Marcus so far, despite the treacherous conditions. 8 minutes and 37.8 seconds. Well, Loeb seemed to be struggling a little before, so has his performance been affected? This marker is just under halfway through the stage, and looking at Gronholm's times at this point, the world champion's not going to match him here. Yes, he's already 4.2 seconds down. Not the best of starts for Seb. As it stands, he would lose the lead. It's all getting very interesting here in Portugal then. It's game on for the fight for the lead, but has Hirvonen been able to keep Solberg behind? We've seen Petter make one small error. He's cleared the stage in one piece though, and that's the time that Mikko needs to beat. But he's going to be slower. 2.8 seconds lost in there. The gap between them now just 4.7. It was a great start to the stage, meanwhile, for Mikko's teammate Gronholm. He's been attacking hard through the second half of this 30-kilometre test and hoping to push on to extend his advantage. Here comes his time compared to Solberg, and he's going to destroy the Norwegian's effort. Wow, that's amazing driving from Marcus. Over 24 seconds quicker than Petter, but it's how he compares to Loeb that matters.
Marcus, you've gone on a massively different tyre to Sebastian. The split tyres were all promising in your favour, and then just at the end you've lost out.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit sleepy. More sleepy in the end, and he have better tyres for that, but he will be destroyed in the next two, I'm sure.
Loeb will know from the splits that he was losing time early on, but as Marcus mentioned, he's been more comfortable on the latter part of the test in the damper conditions. We can take a look at the performances so far with Virtual Spectator. There's the target time Seb needs to beat to hold on to the lead. And look at this, Loeb's definitely fought back. He's now the man in front, and he's going to do more than enough to maintain his lead. Here come the finish boards. Yes, he's now 5.1 seconds ahead. He beat Marcus by 2 seconds in there. A terrific response to going over 4 seconds down halfway through.
It was very slippery compared to yesterday. It was completely different. And I think Marcus take the feeling a bit faster than me. And so I was a bit too careful. I was braking too early, doing some little mistakes. And then it was okay. So I had to push hard. The conditions are really slippery. We have some softer tires, so I think it's in this one. For me, I think it was a good choice. So we'll see in the next stages if it's trying. It's not good for me.
One of the stars of the show on leg one was Jari-Matti Latvala. The Stobart four-man fought back from 18th after problems on stage 2 to finish the leg in 6th and is hoping to put pressure on Danny Sordo ahead. Difficult conditions to attack in though, and he's gone wide there at the same place as Solberg. A very long excursion across the field before he can rejoin the road. A warning that he may need to back off a little. He finishes the stage 6th, but it's slower than Sordo. Even after that off-road excursion, though, Latvala still extends his lead over Manfred Stoll, who's struggling from understeer and traction problems. So no change in the top 8 then after stage 8. Gronholm is now 5.1 seconds behind Loeb after the Frenchman's fight back, but Solberg has closed up on Hirvonen. The gap between them just 4.7 seconds. So Marcus Gronholm thinks he can still get the better of Loeb. Will he follow up on that confidence? Find out after the break. Welcome back to the Rally to Portugal, where the fight for victory has become all the more unpredictable with these damp conditions on leg 2. The roads are beginning to dry though, which could be good news for Marcus Gronholm, who's well on his way into stage 9. He's on harder tyres than his rival Sebastian Loeb and said earlier that he expected them to be better suited for these stages. We'll soon find out if he's correct. Joining world champion Sebastian Loeb now, and the Frenchman has proven time and time again over the past few years that he's quick whatever the surface and whatever the conditions. The roads certainly appear to be drying a lot, but it doesn't seem to be affecting his pace at all. Tyre choice really was a lottery this morning. One tyre may work better in some areas, but it seems that both choices may have been a compromise in other sections. Back with Marcus, who's nearing the end of this 25-kilometre special stage. He needs to fight back after losing out to Seb on the opening stage of the day. Here comes his time. 15 minutes and 5.7 seconds. That's the quickest through so far by a fair margin. Sebastian, running behind the Ford driver, does have the option of reacting to the Finn split times if he can find the pace. It's been a strong performance so far on this stage. I think he should beat Gronholm again. Yes, another 5.8 seconds gained, and now 10.9 ahead overall. So those tyres are still performing well for the Frenchman.
A lot quicker than Marcus in there.
I tried hard from the start, and time is really good. So we have to see in the next one if it's not dry, but for the moment it's a good choice and good setting with the car. We changed the suspension this night, and it's good, it's okay.
So Loeb extends his lead again after stage 9, not by much, but he's now over 10 seconds ahead. All top 8 positions remain the same.
Last 150.
It's all quite tight then at the top, but further back, Chris Atkinson's fighting to hold off the attentions of Daniel Carlson.
16, great short right third.
Oh, but he's off! A costly mistake from Chris and a big accident. This could prove terminal to his hopes of finishing in Portugal. The Impreza's heavily damaged and there's smoke pouring from the engine. They'll have to get that put out quickly. A real disappointment for Chris and co-driver Glenn McNeil after such a strong performance in Mexico. They are both okay, but that's surely the end of their weekend. So it's proving a treacherous third stage of the day then for some. Manfred Stoll is the next to take on stage 10, and the pressure on him will be relieved considerably now Atkinson's gone off. Oh, but he's off too. That's exactly the same corner that caught out Atkinson, and this could be the end of his hopes of finishing 7th. He does eventually get the damaged Zara back on the road, but he's lost 5 minutes and fallen to 11th. Plenty of drama down the field, but staying on the road is the minimum required of the top four. They've been setting a relentless pace all morning and need to be at their best to stay in the fight. Mikko Järvinen seems to have got the better of Solberg at the moment. He's 8 seconds faster on stage 10 and now over 13 ahead overall. While Marcus Gronholm has been unable to find a response to Loeb's pace yet today, he has one more chance to make up some time before the service break. Very tricky roads again on this second leg. Like its predecessor around Porto in the north, the new look Rally to Portugal is proving a real challenge. Marcus was hoping for better from these tyres, but he's been slipping away from the world champion. But how has he reacted on stage 10? Well, Loeb already has a 10.9 second advantage over his rival. Can he maintain it as he pushes the C4 through the final few bends of this test? It looks like he's going to beat Marcus again. Yes, what a morning it's been for Seb. He's won every stage and his lead is now 15 seconds. Further back, Daniel Carlsen and Henning Solberg have moved into the top 8 after Atkinson and Stolzofs. Latvala Sordo, Petter Solberg and Mikko Järvinen all hold position, but the headline is that Marcus Gronholm has fallen further behind Loeb. Questions will be being asked in the Ford camp then as the drivers head back to service in the shadow of the Algarve Stadium. All the talks about tyres, but who got it right and who got it wrong?
Marcus, go through with me the process you made this morning in making your tyre choice.
No. We heard that it was raining, it was damp, and then, but we knew also that they are quite aggressive, abrasive, the road from the recce. So I was a little bit afraid to go with a softer compound, but Loeb took the softer one. So I had no other choice than to take the 9 compound what we have, and it was not so bad. I mean, it was quite okay, but maybe we could have gained a little bit somewhere here and there with a softer, but it's very difficult to know.
Sebastian, Marcus says he chose a harder compound because he understood the gravel was quite aggressive. Do you think he made the right choice, or do you think you made the right choice?
I think I made the right choice. I don't know if it was big difference or not, because I thought in the first one it's the one in which I will be better than him, and the difference was really small, and I thought I will lose some time in the last, which was drying a lot, and I was faster, so I don't understand, but we'll see this after.
Still plenty of intrigue at the front then, while back in 5th, Loeb's teammate Danny Sordo is having a rather lonely rally. There's a bit of drama here at the start line of stage 11 though. Co-driver Mark Marty's unable to get his door closed for some reason. They're about to be given their signal to start the test, so a distracting moment for the Spanish crew. They get going eventually and will need to put that out of their minds. Oh, but now it's Danny's door that's open. This is really bizarre. They're a little off the pace as a result of their wayward doors on this stage, but it's nothing that can threaten their 5th place. Marcus Gronholm, meanwhile, needs to find an answer to the pace of Sordo's teammate Loeb, and he needs to do it sooner rather than later. This afternoon, the Finn's gone for a softer tyre than the rally leader, and will hope that he can start to make an impression on Seb's 15-second advantage. He's certainly giving it everything here. This is very committed driving from the Finn on the tricky Portuguese gravel. So, Gronholm on a charge, and once again it's become a 2-horse race between these two incredible drivers. And as Loeb closes on the finish boards at the end of stage 11, it doesn't look like there'll be much in it here. He's quicker again, only by 1.7 seconds, but yet again he's got the better of Marcus. Loeb's lead now an ominous-looking 16.7 seconds, while Järvinen's also beaten Solberg again in that battle for 3rd. He's now 17.4 seconds ahead. Further back, Solberg's senior Henning is closing on Daniel Carlsen's 7th position. So, Loeb starting to disappear over the horizon. Gronholm has 2 more stages to redress the balance. Highlights of those coming up after the break. Welcome back to the second leg of the Rally to Portugal, where behind the fight for podium places, there's been plenty going on further down the leaderboard. Jari-Matti Latvala has not been setting quite such a blistering pace as he showed on leg one. Yesterday, he put in an incredible display to storm up to 6th after early problems. But after that, off on the first stage today, he's had a more cautious approach, and he's over 50 seconds behind 5th place Sordo at the end of the day. Daniel Carlsen has begun to come under pressure from Henning Solberg in the battle for 7th place. The 2005 Rally to Portugal winner is just 6 seconds ahead after stage 11. Henning has had a quiet weekend, but now has a chance to improve his position and also could help the cause of his Stobart VK4 team, who are currently 3rd in the Manufacturers' Championship. The normally combative Italian Gigi Gali has also had an uninspiring weekend so far in his privately entered Zara. He's still outside the point-scoring places in 9th.
Ok, in destra via, in sinistra tu stringi. Sinistra 6 corta, 30, destra.
Portuguese national champion Armindo Araujo, meanwhile, is making his debut in a World Rally car and has been running in 12th. But this off on stage 10 could have been costly. He somehow managed to keep going and holds on to that 12th position for now. So on to the final 2 stages of the second day of Rally to Portugal. Reruns through Ourique and Almodovar. Danny Sordo's problem with the doors appears to have been resolved. He's not quite on the pace he wants, but even so, this has been a solid performance. And with top 5 times on both stages, he's gradually pulling further away from Jari-Matti Latvala in 6th. Ahead of him, Peter Solberg said he was conserving his tyres for these 2 stages, and the tactic seems to have paid off as he's looking quick. And he's certainly still in touching distance of the man ahead of him. And that man is Mikko Hirvonen. The Finn predicted after stage 11 that his rival for 3rd place would fly through stages 12 and 13, and his comments appear to have shown great foresight. He drops more than 1.5 seconds to the Norwegian on Ourique, and on Almodovar is nearly 3 seconds off the pace of the Subaru man. His lead is cut to 13 seconds. And things don't seem to be going much better for the other Ford driver. Marcus Gronholm has damaged his suspension on stage 12, and that's costing him time and lessening his chances of catching Sebastian Loeb. That's a big ask at the best of times and becomes near impossible with handling problems. He's 14 seconds slower than Seb on this stage, and 1 more to go on day 2 still. Sebastian has been fastest on every stage so far today, and now we're joining him on Almodovar. This stage has some fast downhill sections which might be a little slippy for a man on hard compound tyres. He was the only driver to take that option. A bit of a risk on these still damp roads. He may already be thinking about his options for tomorrow's stages, saving his softer tyres for the final leg. He wins the stage, beating Marcus by 9.7 seconds. So there's confirmation of Loeb's lead going into day 3. More than 40 seconds. Peter Solberg could be the man to watch tomorrow as he continues his pursuit of Mikko Hirvonen for 3rd. Henning Solberg will end the day in 7th after going ahead of Daniel Carlsen on stage 12.
Marcus, tell me what happened on stage 12.
I gave up because clearly my tires was just moving and I couldn't attack anymore. I was a little bit afraid that I will worn them out and I was not pushing anymore.
I heard you had some suspension problems as well.
We had really something strange in the front. I hit the hole. After that, I couldn't steer it for a while, but then it was okay. it was locked for a while. I don't know. So after that, I was cautious.
Sebastian, a perfect day. You've won every stage. Could it have been any better?
No, for sure. It has been a perfect day for us. We've done, I think, the two loops. We've done the best tire choice. Very soft this morning, very hard this afternoon, and I think it helped us also to make the difference with Marcus. It was a big fight on the limit all the time, and now we made a difference from 40 seconds. So it's looking good for tomorrow.
Join us for the final day's action tomorrow. Until then, you can get all the latest news from Portugal at WRC.com. But it's goodbye for now.